Welcome, everyone. Please be seated. Thank you for joining us today for the investiture of our new presiding judge, Kane. Please rise to recognize the judges of the Tempe Municipal Court. Presiding Judge Kane, Judge Thomas Robinson, Judge Mary Jo Barsetti, Judge Elizabeth Olson, and Judge Danielle Harris. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Judge Robinson, will you please lead us? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, folks, if you'll please be seated.
Thank you, Judge Robinson. We'd now like to recognize the judicial officers and other public officials in the audience today. When I call your name, would you please stand? From the Arizona Supreme Court, we have Chief Justice Scott Bales and Justice Ann Timmer. From the Superior Court in Maricopa County, we have Judge Patricia Starr and Judge Paul McMurdy. We also have presiding judges of municipal courts from throughout Maricopa County. From Avondale, Judge Craig Jennings. From Buckeye, Judge Maria Brewer. From Fountain Hills, Judge Robert Melton. From Glendale, Judge Ellie Finn. From Guadalupe, Judge Lilia Alvarez. And Judge Tabor was going to join us today. Did he make it? No. From Phoenix Municipal Court, Judge B. Don Taylor III. We're also pleased to have in attendance today our former presiding judges for the City of Tempe, Judge Marianne Majestic, and Judge Lorraine Arkfeld. We have Judge Marianne Bayardi from the Phoenix Municipal Court, who's part of our program today. Now, I know we have many other judicial officers in the audience. Would you please stand to be recognized as well? Thank you. We'd now like to recognize the Tempe Mayor and Council appointees, and the Judicial Advisory Board. From the City of Tempe, Mayor Mark Mitchell. Vice Mayor Robin Arredondo Savage. Council Member Lauren Kuby. Former Council Member Corey Woods. Council appointees, City Manager Andrew Ching. City Clerk Brigitte Kuiper. And from the Tempe Judicial Advisory Board, we have Chairperson Judge Patricia Starr. And board members Judy Eldridge, Don Callender, Paul Friedman, and Todd Allison. We appreciate everyone being here today for this wonderful occasion. Now I'd like to introduce Judge Marianne Biardi of the Phoenix Municipal Court, and Judge Kane invited her to speak with particularly to all of us who will be working closely with him so that she can give us some insight as to his work practices. She shared office space and staff with him for about 8 years, and I think he's about as excited to hear what she has to say as I am. So, Judge Biardi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. When Judge Kane asked me to speak on his behalf, I was both honored and terrified. Then he said he wanted me to be brief and funny, and I was just terrified. To your benefit, I know at the very least I can be quick. I was recently reminded that an occasion like this is more of a toast than a roast, so I'm sorry to say all of the good stories are going to have to wait for another occasion. I've known Kevin for more than 10 years, including the last 6 as podmates at the City of Phoenix. In that time, he has become one of my closest friends and most trusted confidants. I feel uniquely qualified, I feel uniquely qualified to share some of his character traits and, shall we say, quirks that make him a wonderful person and will make him a terrific presiding judge. Kevin is a generous and giving person. He's always looking for ways to help others and to recognize the unsung heroes around him. He spearheaded the creation of an award within our Inn of Court to recognize 2 people each year who quietly change the lives of others around them and the community at large. He's the kind of person who would give you the shirt off his back, but there is one coffee mug that he is particularly fond of. You can ask around and find out what happens if you borrow the wrong one. I'll leave it to you to figure out which is the holy grail of coffee mugs, but by all means, choose wisely. Judge Kane is also a very competitive person. He's not the loud, brash, in-your-face kind of competitive. He's more wily and sneaky about it. In fact, he's one of the most competitive people I know. So much so that I bet he's sitting there right now thinking, one of the most competitive people she knows. Who does she know that she thinks is more competitive than me? I can't count the number of times I've seen him after racquetball games and asked, who won? I did, was almost always the response, usually followed by the age of the vanquished, which was much younger than Judge Kane himself. Clearly, physical fitness is a priority for Judge Kane, and although I understand he hasn't quite gotten into his groove here in the city of Tempe yet, when he does, you'll find he avoids setting meetings at lunchtime like the plague. Go with that plan, people. He likes to work out, and he likes to do that every single day. And when he misses a workout, he gets a little bit cranky, especially if it's a spin class. We should all have that kind of constitution and work ethic. I know I wish I did. Kevin's also a creature of habit when it comes to his late lunch. Every day for the last couple of years, he's gone to the downtown Chipotle and ordered the same thing. Every employee there knows him by name. I feel I'm a bit worried what's going to happen to that Chipotle when he's not there for his constant support. But I know that there's some restaurateur here in Tempe who's going to be very, very happy to see his face every day. Kevin lives the tagline from Dry Idea Antiperspirant, if any of you remember that. Never let them see you sweat. He lives that both literally and figuratively. He would ride his bike to work every day and come in, not aglow. He'd work out at lunch, walk back in 110-degree heat, no glisten, not even a drop of sweat. I don't know how it happens. It must be good genetics. But no matter what the situation, he always looks like he's just stepped off the cover of a magazine. Well, I'll leave it to you to decide which magazine you think. We can all talk about that afterwards. For all of Judge Kane's colleagues in Tempe, please do not confuse that cool, calm demeanor and appearance with somebody who doesn't care. When you got Judge Kane as your presiding judge, you got a consummate professional. He is intensely concerned with serving justice both on a case-by-case basis and system-wide. I can't tell you the number of times I've watched him wrangle over what was the right thing to do in a particular case. And I have had many, many hours of conversations with him talking about barriers to justice, both philosophic and practical ones, and how to overcome those. Additionally, Kevin is innovative. He's never satisfied to do something just because that's the way it's always been done. Perhaps the best example of all of these qualities coming together for the good of our community is Judge Kane's role, together with former presiding Judge Majestic and others, in the creation, and Judge Arkfeld as well, in the creation of Homeless Court. As many of you know, the Homeless Court started about 10 years ago as a collaborative effort between Tempe, Phoenix, and Glendale. Since then, it's grown to the regional Maricopa County, wait a minute, let me get that right, the Maricopa County Regional Homeless Court. It includes all 26 justice courts and all 23 municipal courts in the county. The Homeless Court gives homeless people a unique way to address certain misdemeanor cases and help get their lives back on track. Literally hundreds of lives have been changed by the workings of Homeless Court and the dedicated individuals who operate it. Judge Kane has been an integral part of the Homeless Court from the very beginning and continues to serve as presiding judge and chair of the Homeless Court Governing Council. Kevin is kind and compassionate. He's intelligent, witty, passionate, engaged, funny, and fun. All things I know about him very well and miss dearly. He is a proud and involved father, grandfather, partner, and friend. Judge Kane is the perfect person to serve as the Tempe Municipal Court presiding judge. Congratulations, my dear friend. And congratulations to the City of Tempe and the court at large. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Priority. I look forward to figure out which coffee mug she's talking about. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the City of Tempe Mayor, Mark Mitchell. He's going to share a few words with us and administer the oath to Judge Kane. Judge, Mark Mitchell, Mayor Mitchell.
You just elevated me. Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for coming here for this great occasion to swear in Presiding Judge Kevin Kane. Before I swear in Judge Kane as our presiding judge, I'd like to talk a little bit about the history and standing of our Tempe Municipal Court. I'm proud to say that Tempe Municipal Court has a reputation for being a leader in the judicial branch and participating in local, regional, as well as statewide community and court improvement efforts. One area where our court really deserves recognition is its helping working veterans to make sure that they get the resources that they need. To help do that, the court participates in regional efforts such as the Arizona Stand Down and the Stand Up for Veterans event. In 2014, Judge Majestic established the Tempe's Veterans Court. Since the court's inception, it has been a great success, graduating several classes of veterans who are back on the right track. In 2016, Tempe became the home to the East Valley Regional Veterans Court, taking over cases from several jurisdictions. I give Judge Majestic real credit for the creation of the regional court. She saw the value in helping veterans by getting them the assistance that they need, and she made the preservation and the expansion of the court a priority. And while veterans have been one constituency that the court has worked with, they are not the only ones that a court prides itself in helping. For example, in 2003, Judge Arkfeld established the Mental Health Court to help those in our community who may have some unique needs as they move through our justice system. We created the Regional Homeless Court in 2006 in a cooperative effort with Tempe, Phoenix, and Glendale Municipal Courts. This endeavor was so successful that the Maricopa County Regional Homeless Court was established in 2013. You might not always hear about it, but the court can be fun too. Every year, they engage our 4th and 5th graders in their Law Day program, which includes an art competition along with awards and recognition by our very own judge, the mayor, as well as the city council. They also participate in the Adopt a Senior Day and promote civic education by supporting We the People program at Marcos de Niza High School here in Tempe. These efforts are made possible by the court's leadership and its employees who are committed to providing the community with an independent and fair judiciary system. There's been a long history in collaboration and a strong team efforts under the leadership of former presiding judges Majestic and Arkfield. Both had a vision of what a court should be and support of their colleagues and the previous councils to make that vision a reality. I'm confident that Judge Kane will continue this history of collaboration. Now with that, I would like to ask Kevin Kane, could you come forward? We're going to administer the oath of office. I, Kevin Kane,
I, Kevin Kane,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the laws of the state of Arizona,
affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of presiding judge for the city of Tempe according to the best of my ability.
wow, and I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of presiding judge for the city of Tempe according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ben. Well, I have to admit, I am sweating. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you all for being here today. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to my family, and to the city of Tempe and our municipal court. I should have memorized that oath, but it underlines a point I want to make. Back on July 17th of this year, I arranged to have a meeting with Judge Majestic at a Starbucks down the road at 4 o'clock. It was a Sunday afternoon. I figured there wouldn't be anybody there drinking coffee at that time. And that's where we decided that Judge Majestic was going to administer the oath to make it official so that I could work legally the next morning in Tempe. So privately, we had that administration of oath, anticipating that we would have this formal meeting today. So it became time for Judge Majestic to administer the oath, and she raised her hand, and she asked me to raise mine, and I didn't want to be too conspicuous, so I raised my hand, and she said, higher. So I did, and we did the oath, and we congratulated each other, and the thing that happened next has really had an impact on me. A couple who I didn't even realize was there, an older couple, came up to the table and said, congratulations. And I know I expressed surprise because I was. I figured nobody knew we were there or what we were doing, but they came to congratulate me. And then they explained that they didn't know what was going on, but they knew it was an important event. And my point is that I think it's a good practice that we who are elected officials or appointed officials to serve the public who take this oath, that we pull it out every once in a while and review it to remind ourselves of the very heavy responsibility we have. And could I have a show of hands of those who are attorneys? Because we have judges who are attorneys and others who are attorneys as well. Look around, there's a lot of us. Recently, I had the honor of administering the oath of the Arizona State Bar to ASU Professor John Gurney, who is here today, who joined the Arizona Bar. And I was amazed. I had forgotten how long that oath is. It's a lot longer than the one I did, but we got through it. But I would challenge all of us who are attorneys to pull that oath out every once in a while and review that as well. I predict that if we do that, things will go a lot smoother in the courtrooms every day. The next morning, I arrived at work, and as I was driving in, I thought about a question that the mayor asked during my interview. One of the things he asked me was, why are you deciding to move to Tempe? Why do you want to work in Tempe? And my answer was easy, and I believe it even more today, and that is that by all performance standards. As the mayor outlined, the Tempe Municipal Court is at the top of the list on nearly every standard that the Administrative Office of the Court measures municipal courts by. Tempe Municipal Court is the 5th largest municipal court in the state of Arizona and carries one of the highest caseloads. And I'm proud now to be a part of that. And it isn't lost on me that what makes a court great like this court is the leadership that's provided, and the mayor has outlined, and rightfully so, the leadership that has been provided by Judge Arkfeld and Judge Majestic. And I know, although Judge Majestic doesn't want me to say I have big shoes to fill, as the mayor says, I have good shoes to fill because she does have tiny feet, but these judges have set a great standard for me. But not only do courts succeed because of their leadership, they succeed because of the great support staff that we have. And now, having worked at the court for about a month and a half, and I believe I have down the names of all of our staff members and where their workstation is, but they, day in and day out, provides wonderful customer service to everybody who enters the courthouse. And they are the ones that really make the court function, and I want to appreciate them. In fact, I'd like to ask them to stand now so we can recognize them for the great work that they do. In addition to great staff, we have to have great judges. And my fellow judges who are seated here with me today are wonderful judges who are very thoughtful and careful in how they apply the law and how they consider sentencing and how they treat each individual. Not too long back, the Arizona Bar Magazine had an article about what makes a good judge. And the point of the author was that people will not remember what a judge tells them, will not remember what a judge requires of them, but what they will remember is how the judge made them feel. And these judges understand that, and I see them exercise that principle every day as they exercise their duties. So I appreciate them, and I'm honored to now join their bench. So thank you for welcoming me. By the way, I should also add that today, they gathered in my office at noon. It was a surprise to me. They gave me a wonderful card and a gift, which was I think it was about 18 by 24-inch canvas of Larry Fitzgerald to hang in my office to replace the Pittsburgh Steelers decal. I appreciate that. Not only do we have great staff and great judges, but we have a city government that supports us and a city manager that supports us and understands the importance of collaboration between the 3 branches of government. And although we are the 3rd and independent branch of city government, we don't work independently. We are a team. And we've received great support from our prosecutors who have robust programs to help individuals, and our Human Services Department who provides oversight for adult probation and to connect defendants with services. And without their help and without public defenders who are very thoughtful and caring about the clients they represent, we couldn't be the criminal justice process that we are. And I'm very proud of that process here in the city of Tempe. Not long ago, one of the city council members hosted a town hall where the topic of discussion was policing. And our new police chief, Chief Moyer, and representatives from Black Lives Matter and other citizens came and participated. I was there and I listened. And I learned a lot, and I hope we have more of these conversations because it's important that our residents are involved and are informed about our criminal justice process here in the city. And One of the things I remember most about what Chief Morris said was something that struck me personally, and that was at the end of the presentation. She said, I've been here for 4 months, and I love, there were 4 of them, I love, 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 love Tempe. And I've been here for a month and a half, and I can tell you I feel the same way. I may have had a little advantage over Chief Moore in that I have some connections with the city that go back a little ways. First of all, my daughter Shannon moved into the Manzanita dorms in the late 90s, and I helped carry boxes up and saw her through graduation at ASU. And her son, Dorian Cush, who's fast asleep because he's not interested in what Grandpa's having to say, and I don't blame him. I'm sure will grow up to be a rabid ASU fan because he carries the namesake for the football field named after Frank Cush. They're related. And my son Chase and his wife Kathy, who's out with Ainsley, who you heard earlier, are the result of a relationship that started at the Edward Jones Financial campus here in Tempe. Kathy and Chase have since moved to St. Louis and moved up in the organization. That's where the corporate headquarters are. But that connection with Tempe is also very special for us. And I'm probably going to embarrass my mother, but I also want to tell you that a few years back, my mom and I and Shannon all participated in the Rock and Roll Marathon and crossed the finish line here in Tempe. And my mother, who was 78 at the time, placed first in her age group. She would be quick to add that there were only 2 in her age group. But she won. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, I publicly want to commit to you and all of the citizens and residents of Tempe that I will do my very best to carry out my responsibilities as the presiding judge of the Tempe Municipal Court and try to live up to the standards that have been set by my predecessors who are here today, and I appreciate the example that they have set. And again, I'd like to thank you all for being here. It means so much to me. It means so much to my family, to the Tempe Municipal Court and the city of Tempe that you're here. So with that, I'd like to invite you all to cross the street, go to the Don Casano conference room, and join us for some refreshments and a reception. So thank you again for being here.